SGC here, and Iron Man 3 Stark have come back. So before I begin my review, I have to sort of like set up how I felt about going into this film. First off, I recently rewatched Iron Man 1 and 2 just for the sake of Iron Man 3. And having watched 1 and 2 after watching Avengers, I actually appreciate 1 and 2, especially 2, a lot more. So that's how I'm going in with 3. I enjoyed 1 and 2, maybe even more 2 than 1 actually, weird, but I went in with this mindset. So first off, the plot line, you got a terrorist Mandarin, and then pretty much it's like, we gotta fight this guy, and things happen and happen. Watch the trailers, you get the gist of the movie. So how did I like this movie? First off, I have to say, I always say I have to say, because things I say are sort of my opinion and important. Tony Stark is pretty much Robert Downey Jr. Anything he does is Tony Stark. So that's why it's hilarious to see him in like Sherlock Holmes, because it's pretty much Tony Stark, but in Sherlock Holmes' like world. And this is the fourth time around that we've seen Tony Stark on the big screen, and I have to say, for some, it might be actually boring, because there's nothing new that he brings to the table. That's what you would think. But I think they did well here with his like really pretty much established character, is that he's going through something that's totally different. In the first movie, he struggled with his origin, and then the second one, he was trying to figure out how to save himself by, like, the thing that's saving him is killing him at the same time. So there's always inner struggle. And this third movie is totally pretty much the same. Another inner struggle. The Avengers movie put him up to, like, craziness, and he has, like, PTSD pretty much, and that's the biggest thing of Tony Stark throughout this entire film. There were a lot more characters to be played with this time around. He interacted with, I guess, a new sort of character, a child, played by Ty Simpson, and that kid was excellent, just bantering back and forth with Tony Stark. I really enjoyed those scenes, though some people are saying it was too much, or pretty boring, or just not my kind of comedy, but I enjoyed those scenes with that kid. It was pretty cool, because, I mean, the kid is one of those, like, annoying that you want to slap, but you can't slap because they're sort of like cute-ish, like, why are you so but you can't hit them. Though Tony Stark says some stuff that I would personally say to that kid, it's pretty much like, shut up, leave me alone sort of thing, and he does sort of that, not shut up, but another dialogue sense. So Tony Stark was enjoyable. Different things were added to the Iron Man lore in the sense of him just bringing something new to the table. So it was cool. I mean, in the trailers you see that he goes back to the shop and builds stuff. And that, I have to say, is like the gem of this entire movie. It goes back to the part where he was in the cave in the first movie and really pushes out that Iron Man or Tony Stark isn't just Iron Man. His power is he's a genius. He created Iron Man in a cave. He does something similar in the sense where he uses his geniuses to build some crazy-ass stuff in a garage. So, cave and garage. Those are pretty bad places to build stuff. I mean, unless whatever. But anyway, his genius is shown here, and he does some pretty crazy stuff with the stuff that he builds. Beside Iron Man, actually. So, Tony Stark has new stuff to offer, and yeah, it was good. The other actors in this, and actresses, are alright, I guess. Gwyneth Paltrow has a lot more lines and shows up a lot more. She still has her phase that she's like a boss, and so she doesn't, like, I don't know, she's like Iron Man 2, but sort of, she is like, well, they're dating in Iron Man 3, so it's like Iron Man 2 feeling of Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper, and something new that she's, this emotional side of her that's not seen as much. So pretty much it's like Iron Man 2 at the end when they kissed and made out, plus a lot more CEO stuff. Cheadle is also in this as James Rhodes, and he too has a lot more lines and a lot of FaceTime. So pretty much this movie has a lot of FaceTime spread out through the entire film, so it's not just Iron Man, or actually even Tony Stark himself shows up more than the actual Iron Mans. So Cheadle, his character development as like the buddy is really sort of there, but not really. You see that more in the second one where he's trying to fight for like the government against Tony Iron Man thing. It's more in Iron Man 2, not as much here. Ben Kingsley was amazing, and he was really menacing. And there is something that happens in the middle of the movie that either breaks it for you or you will roll with it. Depending on the fact that maybe you love Mandarin, the character, and totally do not like what they did with it, or you just think it's totally improbable that whatever they set up as Mandarin was amazing, and what they pulled was, what? Like, apparently I read reviews, people walked out, which is really retarded. I mean, you walked out on an Iron Man film, you need to watch better movies, or you need to fix your head as to what you think is a good movie. So Ben Kingsley was totally enjoyable. I can see why some reviewers even compared his acting to Heath Ledger's in The Dark Knight. And I would say, yeah, I see it there, but yeah. Anyway, and then you got Guy Pearce, who plays Aldrin Killian, and he is like a CEO sort of guy, brain tech. He's pretty crazy there too. I think he is a pretty menacing villain, and yeah, there's a lot of things I liked about this film. The Iron Man actually was pretty awesome. I mean, just seeing everything was pretty cool. And I have to say that it felt very comic-y, like, yeah, very comic-y actually. Because you have the origin of a bad guy and then things brew up and it's like, I didn't really expect, oh my goodness, like, dude, that was the best thing written ever. No, I don't really expect that from, like, superhero films. For those that do, really, you gotta look elsewhere. Okay, one thing I didn't like about this film is probably, like, the transparency of what happened in Avengers carrying over in character form into Iron Man 3. Dialogue, Avengers plotline is mentioned, but characters-wise, I won't say any more. But you can probably guess what I was gonna say. There isn't really a lot of dislikes in this film. Rebecca Hall, I probably would have liked a lot more from her. She was there for her role, but I think a better written character would have been nice. And Jon Favreau had a lot of showtime. A lot more than I thought he would have. And I would say that may be too much, maybe? I don't know. He was very back in 1 and 2, and now he's like, had scenes by himself, which is like, whoa, this guy's crazy. I watched this in 3D, totally not needed. I mean, 3D is for sales nowadays. This movie didn't need 3D, and if you can, like, if you don't want to line up, then obviously go to, like, the reserved seating for 3D, because that's what I did. I didn't want to line up. But if you have the time and you want to line up for this movie, totally check out the 2D version if you can. That's what I'm going to say about that. Iron Man 3, enjoyable. I would say, if I had to, like, compare it, like, which ones I would like the most, it'd be, like, Iron Man 3, 2, and then actually 1. You would go extremely, like, what is wrong with your face? 1 is amazing. Well, really, when you think about it, 1 is pretty... I'll explain it later when I actually do a review on 1 and 2. Anyway, Iron Man 3, totally check it out, because, I mean, you have nothing holding you on to Marvel until November with Thor, which is going to be amazing, because Thor is so amazing. Anyway, that is all for the Iron Man 3 trailer. Iron Man 3 review, movie review. It was good. Totally watch it. And yeah, it was a good sequel, really. Like, what else could they have done after Avengers? Because, I mean, he fought aliens and everything. And what they did here, good storyline. Could have fixed it a bit here and there. Villains, issues, or source material issue. Though I have to say, a lot of people are going like, did they not consult comic writers to, like, check the continuity? Or the fact that the Mandarin is some type of magic user, or things like that? Well, Bendis, a lot of people have been consulted, and they're not just going like, I want to make a quick buck, but they have people that know what they're doing, and I totally trust them, because I mean, I don't expect a 100% mirror version of the Mandarin on screen. Like, you can't do that. You can't, there's no way. And even if they base off stuff off the Ultimate Universe, is Mandarin in the Ultimate Universe? Somebody tell me. I don't know what they did there, but I haven't read him. I haven't heard about him in the Ultimate Universe, so why not? It's okay. I totally bought how they did it with this guy. Anyway, that is all. I'm probably saying way too much, but totally enjoy Iron Man 3 on your own discretion. And yeah, that is all. See ya.